Welcome to another episode of Fill in the Blank podcast. I'm here with my esteemed colleague, Brooks Holloway.
Thank you for having me, Robbie. I'm excited.
We are out here to protest. You know what we're protesting?
Enlighten me.
Life.
Life.
You know why we're protesting life? Because we're destroying the world. Let's talk about the Church of Euthanasia. What do you know about euthanasia?
I know that you kill yourself.
Yeah, well, it's commonly used with animals, like putting them down, and it's also a big thing, like some people that are hitting the elderly age that just don't feel like going on anymore. They decide, hey, my body's not working. Can I just have a legal way of killing myself? And I think only a couple reported cases have actually happened with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly hard because it's hard to, like, we have the death penalty, obviously, lethal injection.
In some states.
In some states, yes. But at the same time, if you didn't do a crime and you're just not wanting to be here anymore, everyone's like, you don't have to do this in a medical way. There's another way. But, you know, there it goes into the whole religious aspect instead of throwing a toaster into the bathtub while you're in it.
Right.
It's a little bit crazy. Well, let's talk about this cult called the Church of Euthanasia, or it's really a religious organization. So the Church of Euthanasia, also known as the COE, is a religious organization founded by Reverend Chris Corda and Pastor Robert Kim Barrick, in Boston, Massachusetts, United States in 1992. As stated in the church's website, it is a non-profit educational foundation devoted to restoring balance between humans and the remaining species on Earth. Members of this organization affirm this can only turn into a reality by a massive voluntary population reduction, which will depend on a leap in human consciousness to species awareness. According to Reverend Chris Corda, it is likely that the church is the world's only anti-human religion. So what are your thoughts from what we first started with the Church of Euthanasia?
So, it reminds me of China a little bit because...
Oh, the baby limit?
The baby limit, yeah, exactly. You know, you gotta be... I understand the whole
Get two
population.
Girls, you gotta toss that one in the trash.
No.
It's true.
I mean, there's proper ways, or there's different ways to explain what you're trying to do, I think. But personally, I think euthanasia, there's other ways to...
Do you think this might be a dumb way of looking at maybe protecting the earth?
I think so, yes, personally, because...
It makes you look at vegans in another way. Like, those are the good environmentalist people.
Absolutely.
They're trying to save the earth in a beneficial way. Like, let's recycle instead of recycling ourselves. Throw yourself in the wastebasket.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got a few cousins that are vegetarians, and I mean, I respect them to the world and back.
You're just gonna eat meat anyway.
But I'm gonna eat meat anyway.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to kill myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, my roof does look pretty nice, but no. Sorry. So when you really look at this, like I was reading this article and I was like, what is happening right now? Because just knowing that this is an actual thing that's like it's registered in the state of Delaware. Let's just mention that. Okay, that's very close to us.
Right.
So we start looking at different cults and different parody religions and different things of this sort, and it's really hard to defer which one has true meaning. They all basically have a good point to it that makes you change your perceptive view. So what I'm going to try and do with this article is not sway you to any certain points, but get your thoughts on it afterwards. Basically seeing if your perceptions on it might have changed a little bit.
Okay.
Because, I mean, overall, I think it's a very dumb way of trying to save the earth, but I understand what they're out there to do.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, on paper, it'll save the earth.
I mean, do yourself a favor and meet the savior by just jumping off and, you know, letting the earth try and live. I mean, you gotta think. We haven't had a giant, like, Holocaust-type situation in a long time, and that's what everyone considers population control, too. Yes, it was very, very terrible, you know. But at the
Hitler
same time,
genius, man.
Those types of people have done a form of population control. Because we do have, I mean, babies being born every couple of seconds. You know, there's somebody out there dying and someone out there being born. You know, we constantly get new life and life is taken away. But it seems like life is taken away differently now because people are living to be longer, and at the same time we are increasing, like people are having like multiple kids, like families of like 12 and 11 are being more common than before when there were just rare movies about it, like Cheaper by the Dozen. It seems like everybody I'm starting to graduate high school with is already on their third kid. So you got to really take into light the whole aspect of we are all causing a severe amount of damage to the world, and we are not as many people that are taking steps in preparation to save the earth. There are too many people that are also not giving a crap that is doing 10 times more the damage than you are trying to save it.
I agree. Yeah.
So it's like, you might drive a Prius, but there's some guy driving some monster truck out there just burning gas for the heck of it because he enjoys it. So it's probably doing 5 times worse the damage than what you're doing trying to save it. So you're doing a fraction of stopping him from committing. He's not going to stop. And you can try your best. The only thing you can do is try your best.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
So let's talk about their most popular slogan. Is save the planet, kill yourself. And its founding ideology is set in one commandment, thou shalt not procreate, and 4 main pillars that based on suicide, abortion, cannibalism of the already dead, of course, and sodomy, any sexual act not intended for procreation. So the church stresses population reduction by voluntary means only. They are not forcing anybody. You have to voluntarily do it. They're just suggesting.
Right.
Yeah,
well, if they forced it, that would be illegal.
Man, you should try the new flavor of soda that's out. Oh, I will try that. Oh, hey, you know what else you should do? Maybe you should try this way of killing yourself. If someone comes at you like that, like, hey, you ever thought about killing yourself? Would you change your way? Would you think about it a little different? Well, he did ask. Maybe I should think about it.
So the Church of Euthanasia.
You can't take. It's okay to smile. You can't take it with a serious expression.
I mean, the whole point of the church is to help the planet.
Yes.
So I don't understand how somebody that isn't helping the planet and realizes that they aren't helping the planet, why would they just go ahead and kill themselves instead of trying to change their ways?
Because they believe that the world is already heading in an inevitable downward spiral. Like I was saying before, where you're trying to save the planet, there's someone doing 10 times more the damage.
Right.
That's totally deleting everything you're trying to do. Everyone is doing that, and a lot of people don't give a crap about the planet because they figure everyone has the same mindset when it comes to... Some are just trying to save the earth for future generations.
Mm-hmm.
This is our home. You got to look at it like that.
Yep.
And there's people like, I'm not going to be here, and that's my kid's problem.
Exactly, but for me that's kind of messed up because if you know it's going to be your kid's problem, don't you want to know don't you want what's best for your kids?
Exactly,
or,
but you know maybe they're not going to procreate, and the next thing you know they're only doing one of the parts of this church. They're not saving the earth there. They just decide I'm going to do as much as I can and have as much fun as I can because you know what really matters in the end? Do we really know?
No. And
exactly.
Another thing that I was thinking about was I already told you over the last podcast, I'm adopted. So wouldn't that also be another thing, increase adoptions to help save the earth instead of killing
there's
yourself?
So many other ways you can take of saving the earth that's better than killing yourself.
Okay.
But the church is not worried about that type of stuff. We're worried about people are just monsters. So let's look at
this church, man.
The church promotes the environmental views. They also utilize sermons, art performances, public demonstrations, cultural jamming, music, publicity stunts, and direct action to highlight Earth's unsustainable population. They consider their methods similar to those of the Dadaist movement, finding the modern world so absurd that means needed to reach their message to the public must be absurd themselves. Okay. Originally, I did not read that. So, hearing that right now, so they're saying that the modern world is now so absurd in the means of needed to, to try and get your message out there, that the only thing that is going to actually strike people with such impactful, where you're like, whoa, what is going on? People believe in killing your what?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's so striking, like what Trump did. He was so outrageous as a candidate that everyone decided to vote for him. It was a publicity stunt. Everything he does, he attracts media attention. Yeah. So you have to think. this is what that church is doing. That their methods and message has to be so absurd at first, and then once you look into it, it's actually deeper and is not as bad as you think it is.
So they're doing it as
Going
publicity.
onto their website, and besides looking at this photo I pulled up that says "Eat a queer fetus for Jesus," that's obviously a striking message. We're looking at a picture of someone protesting with a sign that literally says "Eat a queer fetus for Jesus." That is terrible. Someone's going to see that and try and research what the hell these people are interested in. And they click on the website. Besides looking at the giant list of ways to kill yourself off the Suicide Alternate Holiday website, you can look at the churchofeuthanasia.org, and it actually goes into things. They're not, once you're a member, you don't have to kill yourself. They're not suggesting that, they're not forcing you to kill yourself. They're suggesting it, but they're also saying there's also another way you can take this by taking care of the earth that you live on and be more promotional towards that sort. So they're bringing you in to being an environmentalist with the idea of such an outrageous message. So already my thoughts have already changed on Church of Euthanasia.
Okay.
Because now they're just like, you're looking at,
me.
I'm going to bring you in with these flashing lights, but then once you come in, you start to see like, okay, this is not what I thought it was, and it actually has a good point to it. Has relatively. So what do you think about that, having such an outrageous message as this sort?
I think after you explained to me that the whole publicity thing and getting your attention, it makes sense. I'm actually going to look more into that.
Exactly. And you know what the funny thing is? This is every other religion that I've dived in and twisted people's thoughts on it. Well, not really twisted it, but like explained it in a way where people are like, all right, I can see it now.
Yeah.
I can't do that with Scientology. I cannot. Even I'm reading them like, I can't convince myself to get into this one.
Yeah, that Scientology, that's a whole different ballgame.
So what makes you think that you can believe in the Church of Euthanasia but not Scientology? Anybody out there, Tom Cruise? Okay. Well, the Church of Euthanasia is also notorious for its conflicts with pro-life Christian activists. I wonder why. Do you ever think because these pro-life Christian activists that are asserted that you don't have a choice and if you choose to procreate, they're already not listening to another person's views. So it's kind of the Church of Euthanasia playing a little trick on those Christian activists of pro-life. I am pro-life, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell someone what they have to do with their life.
Right.
So Christian people, there are some people out there that form that like, you don't have a choice. If you decide to do this act, then if you have a kid, this is something you have to bear. This is your gift from God. So they're already not diving into the Church of Euthanasia. If any of these activists actually went in and looked up this thing, they would understand the meaning of this movement and be like, wait a minute, we're against these people and throwing bricks at them and fighting them on the streets because we're not even diving into their message. They're highlighting the whole aspect of, the Church of Euthanasia highlighting the whole aspect of like Christianity. They don't go into anybody else's views. They don't try and find meaning. They just have a set view and they don't try and understand anybody else's.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah.
So slogans employed by the group include Save the Planet, Kill Yourself, 6 billion humans can't be wrong, and Eat a queer fetus for Jesus. My favorite thing about this religion is there are no membership fees. Besides buying merch like cups and things of that sort to, represent the message. If you become a member of this church, the act to kill oneself is optional. How would the word spread if all the members were dead?
How would the word spread if all the members are dead?
And that rhymed. That is the new album from the Church of Euthanasia.
I like that. See, that if I had read that after I read the top part of this paper, I would have been, that makes sense.
Well, I had to say do the world a favor and meet the Savior. I had to go together. So let's talk about the history of the church. The church gained attention in 1995 because of its affiliation with Paranoia.com, which hosted by many sites that were controversial or skirted illegality. Members later appeared on the episode of The Jerry Springer Show, titled, I Want to Join a Suicide Cult. Damn Jerry Springer, he's dealing with, this is your son. You are the father. You are a member of the Church of Euthanasia. The test have came in. You're batshit nuts. So, following the September 11th, 2001 attacks, 9/11, the church posted to its website a 4-minute music video titled I Like to Watch, combining hardcore pornographic video with footage of the World Trade Center collapsing. The montage featured an electronic soundtrack recorded by Corda and the lyrics, "People dive into the street while I play with my meat." It also showed a man masturbating and then cleaning himself with an American flag. Corda described the project as reflecting her contempt for the frustration and the profound ugliness of the modern industrial world. I don't think anybody that's seeing that is going to think that at first. I'm glad they explained it.
Yeah.
Because reflecting the contempt for her frustration and the profound ugliness of the modern industrial world. What do you see in society today that's pretty ugly?
Everything. I mean, personally, I don't do social media, but social media has a huge effect on younger generations, and it's definitely getting to older generations too.
What are a couple emotional factors you can probably...
Emotional?
Yeah. Anxiety.
Absolutely, anxiety. I mean, I deleted my Facebook, Instagram, and everything mainly because I was getting jealous of people, I guess, and, like, oh, they're having so much fun, and...
Brooks, you can come over anytime and have fun with me. Well, my main thing is anything technology has made our life easier, and it really, really has. It made our life so good. It has really created a giant stress ball, too. Because where it promotes laziness is where stress starts to fall in line a lot more. Where our life is easier, we're not doing the things that we're supposed to be doing to keep ourselves happy and healthy. We're falling in a lazier pit. Health, like physically and mentally. We are so absorbed with what other people care about us, and now technology has given us an outlet for that to be at the ease of our fingertips, to compare ourselves to other people and constantly post little things like what you're doing every 5 minutes, thinking somebody really cares. It creates a giant emotional need, like someone that needs a hug, and technology is that hug. So society becoming more involved in technology, society is amazing in so many ways, but then also in another way, it is taking completely different turns with how people are now starting to abuse the things that we have been given. And we are totally forgetting what this earth is like. How many times have you drove past a place that you used to remember skating or walking by, and it used to be a beautiful nature park, and now it's a bunch of community homes looking exactly like the next community homes a block over. Everything's the same because population is increasing.
Right, and it's not just population, it's business and what's the word I'm looking for? Money. I mean, people are greedy, and everybody believes that money is the way to go. You're not going to be able to live without money. My mom told me when I went to college, you're going to get a good job, a good paying job, and I ended up changing my major because after I realized, nope, that's not going to happen. I'm going to do what I believe in, and it's not about money.
You got to do what makes you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You could be the poorest man in the world, but you could also be the happiest.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look at pictures or videos of people in third world countries, they have literally less than 100th of people in the United States have, and they're happy as can be. Some of them. Yeah, sorry. Some of them. Sorry.
I don't think Haiti's doing
too
good.
But you get what I'm saying.
They're keeping the population now. Sorry. So, if we really look at, her whole thing about doing this pornographic video just to show the modern industrial world, and also doing it with 9/11, that's where probably a lot of people decided to probably look up this, and like they said, with doing an outright message that was going to spark something where people were going to search into the topic. So bringing them in with that type of thing. I think that was a good way of probably producing that. Even though 9/11 was a terrible event, it also got people to go interested into their topic. So the church's website previously had instructions on how to kill yourself by asphyxiation using helium. These pages were removed in 2003 after a 52-year-old woman used them to commit suicide in St. Louis County, Missouri, resulting in legal threats against the church.
Helium, that's the stuff that you blow and from balloons and makes your voice high, right?
Yes, it's always fun to talk like a chipmunk for 5 minutes, except when you try and kill yourself.
Right.
So, if you really look at the website really shows a lot of things. Basically, good like messages and stuff. Like besides the killing yourself one, if you really start to dive down deep into it, they explain their meanings of everything, and you start to actually kind of understand where they're coming from. But it really does seem like a primal way of trying to develop the Church of Euthanasia. I mean, you could obviously sign up if you want membership. There's no membership fees. I love that. I don't think you should have to pay for a religion. I'm sorry.
No,
Well,
shouldn't.
they also used to have many sites, like I said, lists of ways to kill yourself. So they go deep into all that, the exact types of drugs you can take and the exact type of things. That's like off a different site. It's not under the Church of Euthanasia because of the woman that killed herself and the legality they faced. So the best part about the Church of Euthanasia is also it is a .org company. It's not .com. They don't profit.
It's organization.
It's non-profit organization. Look at that. That is beautiful.
Most environmental places are non-profit, or a lot of them.
They also used to have a hotline.
Oh boy.
You know how you've heard of suicide prevention.
Yeah.
Well, we got suicide hotline, one that you can call and it'll walk you through the steps.
Oh my God.
It was available for a short amount of time, but it was 976 help.
What?
You used to call and the operator used to say, "All right, so let's say you're calling me right now."
Okay. Ring.
Okay. Let me answer the phone. Hello. How may I help you today? Welcome to the 976 helpline. How may I help you?
Hi, my name is XXYZ. I am not feeling too great. I really just want to end it.
Well, fucking do it. Why are you calling me? There you go. That's the easiest way to get it. You're like, I really never thought of that. And then you just hung up, bam. Next thing you know, you're on the 10 o'clock news. 10 o'clock news at 7. So, let's talk about the Church of Euthanasia and their motto. This is what they say.
Okay.
Great Spirit, I am unworthy. My species has disgraced itself. Of all the species that live or have ever lived, mine is the lowliest. Lower than the flowers who fill with air and sweet pollen, lower than the trees which encircle the earth within their roots, lower than the insects, rulers of earth, since the beginning of time. Lower than the darting fish, lower than the soaring birds, lower than the four-legged creatures, who are the beating heart of the living earth. Great Spirit, my shame is as deep as the ocean, and my sadness is unbearable. I pray for enlightenment, but fear that my prayer is too late. Great Spirit, if this be so, then I pray for extinction. Let my species become extinct and vanish from the earth. Let my loins be barren, let my seed not sprout, let my race of men fall like leaves, let my fields grow wild, let my fences crumble, let my cities turn to dust and become forests, let the grass drink my blood, let my body be food for worms. Great Spirit, let me die that the earth may live.
That sounds like a poem that somebody really, really committed to the environment wrote.
I tried to say it like Martin Luther King, but
that didn't work.
It's very difficult.
Great Spirit.
So that is basically their prayers for a good death, which is really their one commandment. That is the basis: is thou shalt not procreate. So, what are your thoughts on the Church of Euthanasia?
I like the image that, or I don't, I think, okay, so I like the idea that they're trying to spark a message.
Okay.
I like that, and I do think that people would look into it after they see, those signs or anything that they advertise. So yeah, I mean, they have good intentions. I just think, as an environmental person, Church of Euthanasia, I would just look over that. Even if I saw a picture like that, I would kind of look over that. But that's me, because I'm a little bit educated in environmental stuff.
Sometimes you gotta create a lot of noise to attract some attention.
Exactly.
And
it's
with how society's becoming today, with cars everywhere and these types of lights and sounds that are so attracting, that it's really what brings in the image. Like the most popular things in society are things that have a lot of flashing lights and really grab your attention. Like an advertisement, its first thing is
Right.
an explosion or something right in the beginning that pops the item right in your face, you know?
Right.
It's to grab your attention because it seems like our mind and our attention span is only able to focus on things that keep explosions in every couple of minutes or some type of weird bursting loudness in every couple of minutes that keeps you just on a tent. We're not willing to pick up a book anymore. It's where you see older people where everything's kind of dying off a little bit, you know. It's their focus is in the library, and it seems like me being able to go to the library and read books and then also print out articles and get research into this stuff and be able to read stuff like books and educate myself. You see a whole demographic difference of people my age. Like, you don't see anybody my age. All you see is older people. So it's like, it really sucks that it seems like now, even with adults, like our parents, like their attention spans are slowly diving into the new realms a little bit, where it seems like you have to have something beeping at your face every couple of minutes. And
Right.
this is the only way they could get their message out there for you to search up into them. Because if they're trying to promote the planet, you're going to disregard them like every other association out there that does it in a good way.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Going back, way back to that Instagram, I forget where we were going with it, but I was going to say that, I mean...
Media produces bad things.
Yeah, and I mean, we're addicted to social media. I mean, every 5 minutes or so, you probably... I am very curious about the screen time that people ages, teenagers.
You can check that on your phone too, how much screen time you're on it. You know?
Oh no, I know, and I know that mine is a lot lower than most other people's.
I try and leave it in the car sometimes when I go grocery shopping and stuff like that if I don't have anything planned or no one needs to talk to me. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb all day today. So I was like, I'm taking a nap. I'm going to save the world this way and take a nap.
Well, it's better than driving to 7-Eleven and getting a slushie, right?
How many times do you just drive your car to get bored? It is fun to do it, but at the same time, you're killing your earth, too, when you're doing that.
Exactly.
So, the message on the site, Save the Planet, Kill Yourself, on the churchofeuthanasia.org. Anybody wants to look that up. They say, greetings. We are not of this planet. We do not understand. Your strange customs, your planetary ecosystem is failing. Your leaders deny this. Explain. Your leaders deny this. Your leaders deny this. Your leaders deny this. Your leaders deny this. Why do your leaders lie to you? Why? Do so many of you believe these lies? Explain. Your strange customs. Why? Believe these lies. Save the planet. Kill yourself. Save the planet. Kill yourself. And they believe that was basically a message to them. They believe aliens might have sent that. But hey, let's not dive into that craziness. Let's just stick on the Church of Euthanasia a little bit, not go into the UFO world, because we could talk forever about that.
Okay.
I also think that's also a reason why they have not contacted us. You think how much damage and stuff we're doing to the earth. Do you believe that the Church of Euthanasia has a good movement to it? You just think that their idea and ways of performing their task are a little bit dumb.
Yes, Yes, I love their idea. I like the title Church of Euthanasia. It's not Church of Death. It's not Church of Suicide. Euthanasia, I had an idea of what it was, but it's not like Church of go kill yourself. You're gonna have to...
You really want to attract attention. That's how you put a name on it. But yeah. I think some people would probably stop you at that point.
Yeah,
some
exactly.
Government hop in there.
The name Church of Euthanasia is very poppy. Just the name.
Well, anybody that lives in these areas, just to let you know, this is their headquarters in Boston, Massachusetts, and United States, basically. So, there's little factors everywhere around the United States, but their main headquarters is in Boston, Massachusetts. And it's registered in Delaware in 1992. So thanks to that guy or girl. I'm pretty sure it's a girl.
That's relatively new, 1992. I figured churches would be started, early, like in the 1900s or something.
What is it, 1852, Columbus sailed the ocean blue?
Did you say 1852?
When was it?
16? Wait, hold on.
You don't even know.
In 1692. 1592? I can't believe I don't know this.
Yeah, exactly. How many
1492?
People? I don't think it's that old. The government.
Columbus.
Dude, the Constitution was created 300 years ago. That's like 3 people.
That's not like 3 people, unless 3 people had babies at 100 years old.
Or they lived to be 100.
Okay. You're right.
We're not going to argue about this. They obviously didn't follow the Church of Euthanasia.
I got you.
If they would have listened to the message, we wouldn't have. It'd be like 40,000 people would go. Actually, it probably would have been 0 because everyone would be dead. Well, the Church of Euthanasia. Anybody wants to look it up? It's a weird movement, and if you just want to hit images on Google, you can dive down a rabbit hole of psychology there, buddy, because let me tell you, their signs are a little bit outlandish. Some of them are very pretty and stickered up, but let me tell you, eat a queer fetus for Jesus is not something I would be displaying as a bumper sticker.
No, that's true. It pops, though.
Yeah, it pops. Well, thanks for listening to this episode of Fill in the Blank, and stay tuned for the next episode.